I like this because it's sort of like, our online presence, and I use that, not you and I, but people in general, exists in a sort of splintered way with an Instagram account, a YouTube channel, and then sometimes people do this link tree thing where you can go to one place but then access all your different stuff. There's something really nice about something like what you showed me, a one-stop shop for all the things that you are into and are making. And what I imagine would be normal conversations that we have, like in an event like last night, the dining event, where I asked the guy Josh who was sitting across from me, like, are you on Instagram or whatever? Like, there's the sort of default asking which social media site can I see what your life is like through, and then if I did need to contact you, I could DM you or whatever. There's something fun about, or something that if I was in your position, I would be sort of proud and excited in those situations to be like, well, here's my website.
Yeah, go to my website.
And then people are like,
they're like, oh, it's his fucking website.
Like your business website, like, not that they would say that, but they might be thinking it. And then to have their expectations
you go
completely,
and you're either like, this
like,
is cool, or like,
wait,
this is awful looking.
And old guys like me go, I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
I remember these days.
You would hope. So I feel like a lot of people would probably just be like, this doesn't look good.
Well, I think, again, as soon as you open it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the old internet I remember.
Yep.
You know?
And that's kind of what I'm trying to like recapture a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And I hope that's more the direction that more people move in.
No, I think that's a fun way to centralize your life online. But then in a sort of rejection of the traditional avenues that we have.
I can totally capture email addresses. Like if people want to give me their emails, I can do that on there and own it. Like actually own it all. I can still publish stuff if I wanted to publish something to Instagram or YouTube or Substack or I don't know where else.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's also kind of a cool trial run. I'd love to, if I get that figured out how I want to do it and can execute on that, I would love to do the studio sessions website.
Yes.
In a similar
100%.
Because it feels like it fits.
Especially because we don't have a website. We don't have a social media handle. Yeah. Like it's almost like, it's almost, and then if we did, ever got into like a physical product, like we put, certain episodes on VHS or something like that, for that stuff to live there.
It'd be
really cool.
A home. And then also just you could do message boards or like instant messaging. And I know there's other things you could do, like Mastodon or Discord or I don't know, Reddit. I don't really, there's other options though.
Yeah.
I just
something about having it all in one place on a website that's really interesting, but a website that doesn't feel like, and nothing against Squarespace, I use Squarespace, but a website that just feels like something very different, even if it is a throwback to,
it serves a different, like I'm going to keep my portfolio website.
Yeah.
It serves a different purpose in my mind though.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'd send people if I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's just serving a different purpose in my mind because I'm like slowly putting my foot in. Like, oh, the water's a little warm. Let me just, and maybe I'm just that's like keeping the option open.
Because I could see completely shedding.
I could see it goes all the way to that. But
exactly.
At the same time, it's like, I want to, like, I have to build this out. And like I said, I'm not like coding this completely from scratch. Like I'm borrowing people's ideas all across the board. I'm like vibe coding it with language models in certain places because I'm like, all right, this would take me a month to figure out.
Yeah. I'm surprised that like a Squarespace or Wix hasn't created, not that I want them to, but it hasn't created templates that not only the design, but like like widgets or whatever you would call them. Like if you want to put a ticker across, if you want to have a view counter, I remember all of that stuff, coding those by HTML on my website. Well, you got to have a view counter. Yeah. You got to have a little ticker. You got to have an auto music playing feature where there's a little control interface.
It's like, I remember when people would take MySpace to the like the highest degree, and you'd go to MySpace, and you've got their music playing,
right?
You've got this, you've got that, and I mean, I can see why it wasn't the most popular thing, because you had to learn JavaScript, you had to learn HTML, you had to learn CSS to effectively work with it, and
we need to figure out a way for your website to have like an embedded playlist of music.
Yeah.
But when you click on like the option to go deeper into your music library, it opens up like a pop-up window that emulates Winamp.
Oh yeah. What is
so like people could have a floating pop-up window that's part of their browser, as opposed to like it launching an actual app.
This is a great idea,
because it's just like
I could do this where the pop-up window was nested inside of the website,
right?
Which would be the same.
Yeah. I was thinking of something floating, and I'm not saying this is the right answer, but something that was floating, like they could move the Winamp inspired interface, independently from the browser or your website.
I see what you're saying, like on their desktop, and it could just stay open.
Right. And it basically, they sort of like, so like 2 days later, if they come back, they don't have to go back to your website to re-access that week's playlist.
Yeah.
But like,
see, the only thing browsers are so sandboxed.
100%. Absolutely.
For good reason.
Yes.
Because you've got a bunch of people trying to do shady shit. But
it could be something too, where you just,
there's something, because that's one thing I want to do. And I haven't, I just started with the background music,
absolutely,
like the vibe music, because that's where I wanted to start. And my idea, I want to do a playlist, because I used to do a playlist every month.
Yeah.
I'd release it, and I'd design the cover for it. This was in college, and I did it for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And they're still out there. They're like on Apple Music and Spotify. But I love doing it, because one, it had me like seeking out new music constantly.
Right.
And then two, it really like bookended seasons in my life. So like, okay, I can go back, and I can still to this day, because like some of that I was listening to, like that was the music I was listening to when like Audrey and I were like first getting together, or like, becoming a couple, and like that is just ingrained. I can pull up this playlist, and it's like,
transported in time.
Yeah. It's a time machine.
Absolutely.
So I want to do something like that. I just haven't figured out a way yet where I can, because the easiest way for me to do it is Apple Music. Yeah. And I don't want to make it too difficult, because if you make it too difficult, I just won't do it. So, but yeah, there's something there.
It had been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the summer.